Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving right into a massive topic for modern organizations: how enterprise agile planning and collaborative work management come together to create one seamless, unified execution stack. If you've ever felt that frustrating disconnect between high-level strategy and what your developers are actually building on the ground, well, you're absolutely in the right place.
So how exactly do you connect top-down strategy with team delivery? I mean, this is the ultimate challenge, right? For enterprise agile leaders, product managers, scrum masters, you're constantly trying to bridge that tricky and honestly often messy gap between high-level governance and daily developer execution. It's a common pain point for sure, but there's a highly structured way to solve it.
To unpack that, here's our agenda. First, we'll look at a unified agile stack. Then, EAP, the enterprise view. Third, CWM, the team view. Fourth, navigating the legacy migration. And finally, the future of SPM. Let's get into it.
Section 1. A unified agile stack.
Two different viewpoints of the same work. Product experts hit the nail on the head with this core philosophy. We're not talking about disconnected silos here that force you to manually sync data back and forth, because nobody has time for that. Instead, think of these as two distinct, highly optimized lenses focused on the exact same underlying data.
When you look at it side by side, Enterprise Agile Planning, or EAP, handles the big picture strategic alignment. It's used by release-trained engineers and product managers to align epics and manage those tricky cross-team dependencies during PI planning. On the flip side, Collaborative Work Management, CWM, empowers the individual teams, the product owners and developers, to execute those sprints on the ground. It's literally two viewpoints, one unified system.
Moving on to Section 2, EAP, the Enterprise View.
So zooming out to the macro level, EASI delivers a fully scalable framework for planning increments. It's all about defining those high-level goals and managing complex cross-team dependencies across multiple agile release trains. And the real beauty here, it's the flexibility. Whether you're running a simple essential setup or a full-scaled agile configuration, EASI gives you these perfect contextual views. It acts as your primary navigational guide from the specific team level all the way up through the solution train right to the digital banking portfolio levels.
At that enterprise level, EAP hands you a flexible hierarchy and multi-level planning calendars. You navigate all your work through 5 really consistent tabs: Home, Backlog, Hierarchy, Planning Board, and Docs. It even syncs seamlessly with legacy Agile Dev if you need it to. But the true power of EAP really shines on the planning board at the Agile release train level. Right there, leaders can visualize multiple teams, multi-sprint capacities, and spot those potential cross-team bottlenecks all in one single comprehensive view. It's a total game changer.
Plus, there's a brand new planning item-only lens that effortlessly pulls targeted epics directly into your portfolio plans. It makes bridging that gap between EAP and your broader portfolio plans easier, and honestly more intuitive than ever before.
Let's jump into Section 3. CWM, the team view.
Now, zooming right back into the daily execution level, we have CWM, or Collaborative Work Management. This is a highly flexible, shared space that lets individual teams plan, visualize, and completely customize their workflow execution. CWM fundamentally gets the teams need autonomy to perform at their best. It lets them pull in not just their agile stories, but incidents, demand tasks, and all that day-to-day operational work into one single, comprehensive My Work dashboard.
This really changes the game for execution. The connected work feature brings stories, projects, and incidents into one consolidated view. Teams can add custom columns, think color-coded labels, approvers, reference fields, the whole shebang. They can even set up end-user automations, like auto-reassigning critical priority tasks. Because it tracks all these different task types at the same time, teams finally get a truly accurate picture of their capacity without constantly context switching between disconnected workspaces.
And to get rid of the busy work, Now Assist brings some incredible generative AI capabilities directly to CWM. I mean, with just the push of a button, it can generate acceptance criteria instantly. It automatically breaks down massive bodies of work into specific Scrum tasks. It even lets you build complex formula columns using simple, natural language syntax. This drastically cuts down manual admin time for product owners, which means they can actually focus on delivering real product value.
And check this out. To make sure absolutely no task falls through the cracks after a sprint retrospective, the dynamic CWM Docs component actively reads your collaborative meeting notes.
It finds the action items and automatically converts them into trackable board tasks. It literally turns your meeting text into actionable workflow items, completely closing the loop on team collaboration. How cool is that?
Okay, Section 4, Navigating the Legacy Migration.
Now, if you've seen a deprecation notice for legacy tools like Agile 2.0 and felt a bit anxious, let's clear the air. While we are currently at end of sale and approaching end of renewal later this year, deprecation absolutely does not mean losing access. Your historical data is completely safe. Even when end of support arrives post-contract, you will not be forced to switch before your team is ready. You are totally in control here.
Because CWM and Agile 2.0 actually run on the exact same underlying epic and story tables, migrating your data is remarkably simple. We're talking 3 straightforward steps. First, configure your EAP team hierarchy. Second, use the connected work feature to just pull your existing Agile 2.0 stories onto a new CWM board. And finally, pick a specific sprint to act as your cutover date. Yep, it really is that straightforward.
Finally, Section 5, the future of SPM.
The product team has some fantastic opportunities coming up for practitioners to connect and learn. Definitely mark your calendars for these. On June 28th, the next SPM Academy session is going to explore leveraging the autonomous workforce to ensure zero misaligned investments. And looking toward the fall, the Nexus 2026 in-person event takes place in Santa Clara from September 30th to October 1st. These are excellent chances to explore these new capabilities in person and connect with fellow practitioners.
So I'll leave you with this question. Is your enterprise planning truly connected to your team delivery? As you evaluate your current Agile stack, really consider how unifying your high-level enterprise vision with granular, team-level execution could completely transform how your organization works. Because when everyone is looking at the exact same data through their own customized lens, incredible things happen. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.